Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to the Library of Alexandria. So I'm re-recording this because I forgot that I hadn't gotten this off my phone, and my phone was running low on space, and we were out of town this weekend, and I was trying to take pictures and video, and so I delete a bunch of old videos because a lot of times I like film like patron stuff and then put it online and then I delete it. I forgot that I did this when I opened it, and I deleted it. So, whoops. So I'm going to refilm it and just film the whole thing at once. So this is the Sisterhood of the Traveling Box. And if you're watching this one, you've probably seen every other one in the chain. I am the last. I am the final stop. I'm what's at the end of the subway line. And so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But anyway, the box of books started with Josefine and was sent on. I think Leslie got it next, and she took out the books she wanted, replaced them with more books, and on down the line until it got to me, and then I will send it back to Josephine. We'll see. I'm going to show you guys what's in this box and what I decided to keep, and what I'm putting in the box to send back to Josephine. So I'm going to show you. First of all, I'm definitely keeping these. These are bookmarks. There's actually another bookmark that I'm using that these were put in here. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Never let the odds keep you from pursuing what is in your heart. You were meant to do. I don't know if that's a new sentence or whatever. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. That's true. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Maybe. But anyway, bookmarks, and they're nice bookmarks. I like bookmarks, and I keep losing my good ones. I lost my Vimes bookmark, and I don't know where it is. It has to be in the house somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. So there's a third one, but it's in a book somewhere. So I'm definitely keeping these bookmarks. So Eye of the World, MMPB. So there was a rule that you can't put MMPBs in here, and then people just ignored it and did it anyway. So yeah. Anyway, I would probably keep this if I didn't already have it. I already have Eye of the World, so I can't keep this one. I've already got this book. Then we have a Christmas Carol coloring book, an adult coloring book, which is awesome. My wife loves these. I don't use adult coloring books because I think adult coloring books, like, look at how freaking small the spaces are. I much prefer like children's coloring books with that you can outline with the crayon and then color in, like the big fat spaces, like in a big fat children's book. The adult coloring books, lines are too narrow. Too narrow. This is Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. This is historical fantasy, I guess, where the KKK are like literal demons. This is one of P. Jelly Clark's novellas. And so, yeah. I'm super interested in P. Jelly Clark's works, like the Dead Gin in Cairo, that kind of stuff, because that's more my speed. Like I like historical fiction, but really one specific period, and that's the Napoleonic War. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure I would read this or get to it soon, so passed on that one as well. Now this book I definitely would have kept if I did not already own it. Memory Called Empire, the hardback. I already own this book, and I have it in paperback. Like, I'm tempted to keep it just because it's the hardback version and trade out my paperback. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll take this hardback and then put my paperback in there. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do that. The Husband's Secret. So this is too long to be a thriller, I think. Maybe not. It's less than 400 pages. It's almost 400 pages. Imagine your husband wrote you a letter to be opened after his death. Imagine, too, that the letter contains his deepest, darkest secret. Something with the potential to destroy not only the life you've built together, but the lives of others. So maybe this is like a thriller or something? The author of Big Little Lies, an HBO limited series. I don't know. This is not really the kind of thing that I read. So, Flipped. My wife saw this and she's like, I read that in middle school. Because the first time she saw him, she flipped. The first time he saw her, he ran. Okay, that was in the 2nd grade, but not much has changed by the 7th. This is for middle schoolers. This is not something I would read. Well, my wife loved it when she was in middle school. Witches Steeped in Gold. This is fantasy. When I opened this book, I when I opened this box originally, I accused Jessie. I'm like, like I read only fantasy and sci-fi, right? She's like, I put a bunch of fantasy in there. She did. There's a bunch of fantasy in here. The problem is, it's not a whole lot of fantasy that I would normally read. This is an Owl Crate book, I think. This is about witches. I don't really like witches, period. The only witches I like are Granny Weatherwax and Nanny Ogg, and maybe McGrath. I don't know what this is about, but it's. I looked it up. I think it's a YA book, and I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's not. It's not for me, but it is pretty, and the cool little Owl Crate thing inside is cool. Tamed by Glennon Doyle. This is a memoir, not something I'd pick up and read. I don't read memoirs really, period. I think the only memoir I've read is I've read biographies, and I guess I've read like Augustus's Race Gestae, but I've read Jon Stewart's memoir about his time on the Daily Show. And that's it. So this is no. Picture of Dorian Gray. Little bitty picture of Dorian Gray with little bitty words. I have this book. Not this tiny one, but I have picture of Dorian Gray. The Night Circus. This is by Aaron Morgenstern, author of The Starless Sea, and everything I've heard about The Starless Sea tells me that I will not like The Starless Sea. And I am fairly certain that is a transitive property that can be applied to this as well. And so I asked some friends, and they are like, you will not like this book. Do not read this book. You will hate this book. I'm fairly certain that this is one of Jesse's favorites. I hope you like it better, Josephine, because it's just not for me. It's just not for me. Next we have Dar Oakley in the Ruin of Ymir. So this is a book about. I had heard about this book before, but I don't know anybody who's read it. It is about, I think, the first crow that has a name or something. The first crow in all of history that has a name all its own. It's an exquisite fable from acclaimed writer John Crowley about a man who tells a story of a crow named Dar Oakley and his impossible lives and deaths in the land of Ka, the realm of the crows. He's a 2,000-year-old crow. He went down to the human underworld long before Caesar went to the Celtic lands. And he sailed west with America. Like, what? I don't know if this is like a fantasy book or kind of like a historical fiction or whatever. I mean, so it's fine. And I think if I had more room on my bookshelf, I would probably keep this one. But I don't. I am, like, space is a premium. Like, a lot. And I'm just not, I just wouldn't prioritize this. So this is kind of a maybe, but I don't think I'd prioritize it, so, sorry. Dune, I am going to keep this copy of Dune because it is the nice floppy paperback, and the version of Dune that I have is the crappy MMPV version of Dune, and I don't like it. I don't like the copy that I have, so I'm trading it out. And I'll pass that on. Josephine, if you don't have Dune, it's better than not having any Dune, but I like this Dune better, so I'm going to keep this Dune. The Faded Sun Trilogy by C.J. Sherry, I think. So this is, they were the Marie, tall secretive, bound by honor and the rigid dictates of their society. So this is a trilogy about, I don't actually know, it's a Faded Sun Trilogy. I don't actually know what this is about. I did read Foreigner back in high school by C.J. Sherry, and I did not enjoy it. But that was a sci-fi book, not a fantasy book. Again, if I'd heard anybody talk about this, maybe. But I don't have a lot of space for this chunky thing. And I don't know when I would get to this. And without knowing anything about it, or without hearing something about it, I just don't know when I would read this. So I'm going to have to pass on that as well. The Vanishing Half, Book of the Month. So there's a reason I don't subscribe to Book of the Month. And it's because they don't have any books I want to read. That's why. They're like, hey, general populace, here's some books for you. And that's probably true. But not usually stuff I'd want to read. So I've heard really good things about this, but again, it's just not what I read. Blood Dazzler. This is a book of poems, and a National Book Award finalist. If you have seen my rapid fire questions where it says, "Do you read poetry?" I say, "Not if I can help it." I did get a book of poems from Evie that has the Senlin poem, Senlin Ascends, that Josiah Bancroft was inspired by. And that's cool. But random book of poems, nah. That's not me. All right, and then Underground Railroad. This, I think, again, is another historical fiction. I don't know if it's fantasy or not. I think it's just historical fiction, because the Underground Railroad is an actual Underground Railroad. So, and I know Elle and Sean really like this book. But again, it's just not something I would read. Like, I don't really like American history, really, in general. I like the Revolutionary period, but I think that's largely influenced by the musical 1776. And after that, I'm not super interested in American history as much as I am not American history. So again, my degree is in international politics with a focus on East Asia, and then a minor in Japanese, and I'm a Latin teacher, so Greek and Roman history. So unfortunately, this was kind of a bust, because there's not a ton from here that I want. There are several books that there are a few that I would have kept if I had, if I didn't already have them. So I'll probably keep The Memory Called Empire. I'll keep this, the hardback one, I guess. And, well, I guess I need to see if I can get the second one in a reasonable price hardback. I'll probably keep this one. And then I'll keep this nice floppy paperback of Dune for when I read Dune, because it's way better than other paperback. And bookmarks. And unfortunately, that is all that I will be keeping. In repackaging, though, in the box, I am going to put, I don't have a ton of room, is the problem. I actually may not have any room at all. I may not have any room at all. So I may have to cut this. So, if I don't have any room, then I'm going to cut this part, and I'm not going to put anything in it, and I'm just going to send it forward. But if I do have room, then I'm going to continue and say what I'm going to put in there. So if I do have room, I'm going to put in this novella, To Be Taught, what does it say? To Be Taught If Fortunate, which is a novella by Becky Chambers, who wrote the Wayfarer trilogy, the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I did not enjoy. I did not enjoy Small Angry Planet, but I know a lot of people who do, and I don't know if Josephine's one of them. But I have this. This came with my trilogy of the Wayfarer thing, and I picked this because it's small, so it'll fit in the box. And so, maybe Josephine will like this. I'm also going to put in Guards. Everyone should read Guards. So I don't know if you've got a copy of this, Josephine, but if you don't, you're getting one. So that is it for me in this experiment. So anyway, I will be sending this back to Josephine, and then you can watch her open hers, which will be the same as mine, as me having opened mine, as it's the same books. Anyway, as always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.